So Dean, a question I get asked over and over again is, if I sign up for SimplyBeFound.com or I just signed up for SimplyBeFound.com, will it make it to where all these voice search calls stop? If we're getting phone calls, you've experienced this, that you're on the business, I'm getting it on my business lines as well. Hey, your business isn't registered for voice search. You're not properly registered on Apple Maps. You're not being found on Alexa. You're not being found on this network or registered over here. You're getting those at your other business as well. And how do you address this?
Basically, Rob, yeah, and that's just a few of the things. I mean, there's so many things that people are saying that they're really misleading. But basically, because my other businesses are set up with SimplyBeFound, I know that we're registered. I know we're going out to Apple Maps. I know we're doing all these things. Because I'm interested in what their spiel is, I listen a little longer, but I don't have to listen to them. My production manager, he gets those. And he goes, Dean, it's making me crazy. I said, just hang up because we're there. You hang up with I go, we can hang up with confidence knowing we're there. And I think that's the best advice, because actually the better we're being seen out there, the more calls we're getting. That's why I've been telling people when they're calling in that we're being effective, because that's why they're seeing you.
Well, and then there's a big piece to that. So back when I used to do really heavy SEO work for clients with my marketing agencies and all of that stuff, I'd always tell them your spam calls are going to go up because it's a lot. They want that low hanging fruit to someone who's already done all the hard work and is already ranking, because it's a lot easier for them to come in, collect cash, and just be able to just continue going through. Now, they might not even do any work for you or any of that. I don't want to say that that's everybody, but there's a lot of that used to happen back in the SEO world. But when you start to get found, it makes you more visible. The more visible you are, the more you're going to end up on call lists. So if you have worked inside of a cold call room, what you do is you have lists. There's now bots and AI agents that do this. They go out and they build what's called a call list. And all they're doing is they're calling this list of people. It's so different than the politicians, and I'm calling up all the people that you can show them everybody's going to vote the way they want them to vote and do that side. They're just working a call room in their call list. And there's a lot of times that's done either by a robot, making those robocalls with new technology. You also have people that are using auto dialers, which auto dialer will mean that they're going to hit you the minute that you're not going to be a hook, line, and sinker or make a decision right then and there. They're going to just be on that next call. They're going to hang up on you and keep moving through. It's like being in a timeshare environment. We don't make any of those phone calls, but that's exactly what ends up happening. If business owners are getting lots of calls, I think there's a lot of spam that's happening right now. I think there's a lot of scams that are happening, especially when it comes to voice search registration. I'm now starting to see it for AI search registration as well, which all that comes all in line. I remember when you first started with me as a client at the agency that you were with before we did it. We had this whole conversation because I told you your spam calls. That means your shit's working. You're moving up because people are now paying attention to it. So now you are actually out there, you're being found.
Yep. And I just want to comment a little bit on what you talked about, the timeshare approach or the car sales approach. I want to pick on those industries, but they want to close you the first time they meet you. And you can really determine whether or not this is a legitimate company that's really going to work with you, or if they're just trying to sell you, because you say, I can't make that decision today. Was this offer only good for today? And if it is only for today, then they're just trying to force feed you to say, oh, you need to make this decision. You may have not, we all get busy. We may not remember that, hey, we're working with SimplyBeFound. We're working, and we're doing, if it's just the listings piece, because you really don't see anything. It's all happening behind the scenes for you. And we're doing all these things to make it work. And you may say, oh, maybe that's not working for me anymore. And you make a sale, and it's just going to hurt you in the long haul if you double up on that too a little bit. You just, I don't know if it does or not. That's my opinion. I think it does. But,
yeah, it definitely can. And the reason being is because if you have multiple registrations, you're actually going to really slow your process down. So we do it in an organic approach. So you have a couple of people when it comes to doing any of the registrations and getting you out there for your listing space. We're making those organically, which means we have a relationship with that third party. If it's Apple Maps, Alexa, Siri, Cortana, any of those of how they pick up those networks, Yeah, we have a whole entire list of all the networks that we have and how that kind of works. We have a video on that. But when we contact them, if you've already used a service other than us before, we have to go through, our data science team actually has to go through a checklist to be able to prove that, yes, we do work with you, for one. For two, we have to be able to say that we are the authority to get rid of whoever's there. Some of these networks keep reporting out. And there's a bunch of them that like to come refer to themselves as the good old boy network, which are all tied to Yext and Bright Local and all those different people that are kind of just pushing that stuff out, which is there. Then you have your people like APN and different networks like that are sitting and making these phone calls, and they're doing that high pressure sell. They don't put their pricing on their website. They make you talk to a salesperson. We have no salespeople. It's you and I and our data science team. We make everything kind of go through, and our assistants. That's it. And that's why we don't offer phone support. Well, it's one of those things to where if you talk to a lot of the companies that are out there, they'll go, oh, there's only 3 spots on voice search left. And if you don't make that, you have to be closed for 2 years. That's a high pressure set. That reminds me of he's working inside of a car lot. For anybody who doesn't know who I am, I've worked on a car lot before. I've launched 2 companies from car lots in my past, marketing agencies. Well, but I've lost everything and had to rebuild everything back up because of doing all kinds of different interesting things. But if you ever want to know that story, I'll get into it. But it's one of those things to where that sales approach of, hey, let's get the manager over here. Let's try to make you work you a deal. And next thing you know, someone's getting up and they're walking towards the door, and now they're getting closer where that deal was. We don't play any of those games. We try to keep the BS all the way down to a minimum. This is what you get. This is how we're going to do it. We're here to be able to help you. And there's a lot of companies that are making these phone calls that are nothing but a bunch of scams or spam calls. They don't know who you are. They don't even know what your business is. I've done a lot of calls. I've done a lot of videos where I get a phone call and they're sitting and telling me my business isn't listed. And they don't even know the name of my business. I'm like, awesome. I have 15 companies. Which one do you call?
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
Well, you told me it's not listed. It does matter.
Yeah, I get the same thing. I have multiple businesses as well, and that's why we relate to the small business owners, because we've launched enough of these, and we have these going right now. And they'll say, "Well, your Google business profile is not being seen." Well, which one is it? I'm really concerned, and they can't tell me. I'm with you. If they can't tell you, they just do it. They're just fishing. But you talk about the number of spots, and we just had a member who said, "How often do you guys submit?" We submit daily. All of our data. People need to understand that. They said, well, how is that? Because who was the 2 account? I can't remember. I shared that with you. Do you remember who it was? One was like Alexa. You only submit to them twice a year. And if you don't submit, we know that that's not true, but the problem is that's the stuff they're hearing. And then they're questioning us on what we're doing. And that's okay. We want you to question what we're doing because we'll be honest with you. We explain right up front with you. But the problem is they're hearing things. They're going, well, how is that? It was Apple Maps was the other one. You only submit to Apple Maps and to Alexa twice a year. And so if I miss that window, I won't go out to them anymore. It isn't the yellow books or the old in the 90s. You can put your information on, you can update it, you can do everything you want to. It isn't a one-time, this is your window. You can get there. And that's the problem. But the other thing is you talk about calls. So we have people who get mad at us because we don't call them. They go, we want to talk to you. Well, no, we don't talk to you. It's right there. It's all in black and white on our website. It's in front. Right. There's nothing hidden, no contracts. And this isn't a sales call. This is how we are. Do it. I mean, if it doesn't look what you want to do, what you need to get done, then we're not for you. But if you want a phone call, you're not going to get it. So people go, stop the phone calls. We don't make phone calls.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, signing up for us, those phone calls aren't going to stop. It's going to be more than they probably might get even worse.
Right.
For you, but you can hang up our confidence part. I think that's a huge piece.
Yep.
And we do things a lot different over here. I mean, right now, Dean's quality of his video, at least as I'm recording this, doesn't look that great.
Right. No,
he's traveling around. He's out and about. He's currently doing all that different stuff. And I'm like, hey, we got to hop on a video. We keep getting asked this question. And this is what we're going to start in the 2025 doing more of, is I'm going to hop on a lot more videos. Dean's going to hop on a lot more videos with me. I'm going to force him to do it. And where we have real conversations like this, because I think this matters more than what the quality is, and to be able to put that information out. We're real. We have lots of members. We could not call everybody in a single day. It would be physically impossible for us to get everybody called even in a month if we work 10 hours a day, and had a 5-minute conversation with everybody. I think if I'm doing the numbers in my head correctly, that would not be a possible thing for us to even pull off.
I think I figured it out. It took like 70 days to make a phone call to everybody. For some, I don't.
That's
I
the
really
problem
don't.
with supplement, and it's
Just
a thing. So yes, we offer the marketing coaching, but you have to contact us if you have marketing questions. We want to hear it, because we're going to make a video just like this one, and I think that is what makes us unique.
right. And sorry the quality isn't good, but like you said, I'm out and about, and you said, "Dean, let's do a video." So here I am. So
All right, so you guys have more questions? We want to hear it, and this is what I want you to watch out for, because there is lots of spam. There's lots of scams going on about registering your business on Alexa, Siri, Cortana, Bixby, Google, Bing, I'm sure, AI search, voice search, however you want to call it. It's all part of your local SEO, and SimplyBeFound.com can help you solve that problem. Check us out if you haven't already. My name is Rob. I'm one of the co-founders, and
I'm Dean, the other guy.
thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.